You are listening to the 90 Days Later podcast with Anna Charles, episode 58. Welcome to the 90 Days Later podcast, where I show you how to stop overdrinking in 90 days without missing out on life. If you're not an alcoholic, but fed up with saying yes to a drink when you mean to say no, you're in the right place. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. How are you doing? I hope your 2023 has started well for you. Today, I want to talk about moderation, and specifically when you say things like, I just can't moderate. Now, when people talk about moderation, there's usually a number involved, right? It's something like, I want to drink 2 drinks or 4 drinks or 3 drinks or, whatever it is. If I drink that number, then I'm moderating. Now, I remember doing this. I remember thinking, I'm just going to be just fine if I can stick to 2 drinks. That's enough. That really is enough for me. But here's the thing. The measurement of enough is not fixed. Because as I found, it always seemed to depend on how I was feeling on a particular day. If I'd had a really stressful time in the office, 2 glasses would invariably not cut it. In fact, I remember one occasion really emailing my husband from the office saying, please have a G&T ready for me the moment I walk through the door. Right? And I'm sure I had more than a second one of those that evening. But on the reverse, if I'd had a restful time, if I was well hydrated, if I'd been looking after myself, well, then drinking 2 glasses of wine could often feel like too much. And you probably know this too. I bet you've experienced this. How many times have you said, well, I only drank 3, but I really didn't want the last one. So in that case, although you could argue that you drank in moderation, 3 is not a train wreck. Actually, the number, it was more than what served you in the moment. And you knew that yourself at the time. So moderation is more than a number. Moderation isn't about just paying attention to a number, to fixating on counting. Now, yes, drink plans help us make decisions and be more decisive and intentional. I get it. It's what I teach all the time. But the value of a drink plan is far more than whatever number you might write down and have decided on for that drink plan. Moderation is about being intentional. It's about being curious and observing what's going on. It's about gaining awareness. To learn to listen to how your body is responding in the present moment. To understand what's going on for you right now. To understand, does drinking right now serve you? Now you may tell me, Anna, I have been trying to do this for years. Moderating is what I want. And I can hold myself back onto the straight and narrow for so long, and then I just overdrink. I just do. Always happens. I'm just not one of those people. I just can't moderate. Now, you then may be able to reel off all this evidence and loads more evidence of how and when this has happened. And even when I tell you in the face of all that evidence, it's still not an irrefutable fact that you just can't moderate. You may well dig in and disagree. Now look, you may really believe it's true. You really may believe you are right and I'm wrong. But here's what I offer. Is it serving you to say, I just can't moderate? Is it serving you to be right when you tell me that you can't moderate and that I'm wrong in saying that you can? Right? Because when you're saying these things, what you're also saying is that you're an all or nothing person. You're saying things like a couple of glasses and I'm out of control. Right? Because I can't just stick at the 2 or the 3. You're saying also that the alcohol has all the power. Now, if you're going around believing that you don't trust yourself around alcohol, no wonder it feels a struggle and it's exhausting to change your relationship with it. Right? Makes total, utter sense. No wonder you may feel like you're always on your guard, waiting for the moment when you're going to go off the rails. Right, waiting for the recriminations to start and to the moment when you're back saying, see, I told you I couldn't moderate. So what can you do if you say you can't moderate, right? That's for those of you out there who say that. And I really want you to take notice of these 3 things. It's just 3 things. They are simple. You don't need any special equipment for this. But do these things and it will change how you view your abilities. First, I want you to stop saying, I just can't moderate. I want you to stop saying it even if you believe that it's true. And I want you to stop saying it even if you have so much evidence that it's true. Because saying it isn't helping you. It just isn't helping you at all. So cut it out. Secondly, I want you to start paying attention to yourself. I want you to see how your emotional state is connected to your desire for drink. Now, changing your relationship with alcohol, going all the way through the full transformation, means being willing to listen to yourself, means being willing to check in with your body and understand what's going on, being willing to tune in to how you feel before you drink and to recognize, hey, things like I'm having a lot of stress right now, or maybe I'm having a lot of anxiety at the moment, or perhaps you think and recognize I didn't sleep very well the night before. You start to see what's happening in your emotional life. Now, most people don't want to do this, right? We want to tune out. That was what it was like for me. I just didn't want to feel, I didn't want to spend actually any time thinking about this feeling stuff. I just didn't want to feel the way I was feeling. I wanted to not feel frustrated. I didn't want to deal with it. I just wanted to feel better. And that's what drinking so often is about. It's about feeling better. But starting to pay attention to yourself is your ticket out of this situation. And here's how to think about it. Let's say you're feeling frustrated after a heavy day at work. So what? Why is that a problem? If there weren't any problems in the office during the day, you probably wouldn't have a job, right? Life is 50-50. Things are going to go our way. Sometimes things are not going to go our way. Maybe after the day you've had, frustration is the most appropriate emotion for you to be feeling. So pushing frustration away and dulling out from it makes actually the least sense to do. Because at that moment you're feeling frustrated, and guess what? That's okay. You're human. You're going to feel sad sometimes. You're going to feel frustrated and angry and miserable and anxious and all those things. It's what life is about. But those feelings are not a problem until we choose to make it one. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to question why. Why do you want to moderate? And maybe you think, well, it's because I enjoy it. I want to be able to relax and have some fun on holiday. So I want to be able to keep wine in my life. Wine helps with those things. So why wouldn't I want to keep drinking? Now, none of those reasons are wrong and none of them are bad. But here's what I want to offer. If a drink has become your go-to way to access things like relaxation, to unwind, to connect, to have fun, it's going to impact how much you're drinking and your ability to moderate, right? Because you're giving your power at the moment to feel an emotion to something outside of you, which means that you need that external thing, whether it's wine, beer, chocolate, cake, the shopping, anything, right, to feel better. And that makes you dependent. Here's a fun challenge. A fun challenge can be to ask why you want to have alcohol in your life at all. Right? If you could clear the slates, clear the decks, clean slate. That's right, clear the decks and clean slate. Got that right. Would you want to have alcohol in your life at all? Now, I'm not saying you have to go sober. I'm not saying that at all. As you know, I don't really use labels like that. But I'm asking you to get really inquisitive as to why you want to moderate in the first place. Right? Because if you want to moderate, it's your way of saying that you accept that you will carry on drinking. There's nothing wrong with that. But what if that wasn't a slam dunk? What if you had the choice to not drink at all? Is that something that you want? Are you couching yourself by saying you want to moderate because you think a future without drink is so tedious and dull and boring and dreary? Is it because you think you won't be able to live without alcohol? Right, get honest with yourself. There's no wrong answer. I just want you to understand where you're coming from. I understand all this, and I teach my clients how to have multiple ways to feel better. Changing your relationship with alcohol is about understanding why you have this desire at the base of it and why you want to drink. Why you sometimes think things like more is better. Why you think that one more glass won't hurt. And why you think that you'll have more success starting tomorrow as long as you can just get through today and have a couple of drinks. Doesn't that one sound familiar? Now, this all boils down to one central thing, which is trusting yourself. I know many people who successfully moderate with alcohol, right? And they all have that one factor in common, that they trust themselves. They trust themselves to make decisions from a place of power, to follow through on their commitments to themselves, to sense what they need when they find they're reaching for a drink, and to back themselves whatever happens. Now, what I teach is about having multiple ways to start to feel better without you needing to say, oh, if only I could have a drink, that would be the thing that would help me relax, right? That would take the edge off how I feel for sure. But knowing you have many different ways to support and look after yourself instead of reaching for the wine gives you really, I think, the ultimate sense of freedom, because all you need is you and your brain. And that's really the best. That's it for today. But listen, if you're thinking, yes, Anna, but I just can't moderate, I can help. If you really want to do something about this fast, if you want to be done with the overdrinking, you need to work with me, because then you can achieve your goals around alcohol and get on with living your life. You don't need to be sitting in this squirrely struggle and stuck for another year. You can apply to coach with me by going to 90dayslater.co and clicking on the blue button to book a call. The initial consultation call is free. On it, we'll discuss where you are, where you want to be, and on that call, my friend, I will build for you the exact plan you need to get there, to get the results that you want. So make the call. You know you deserve it. Okay, I will see you all next week. If you like what you're learning in the podcast and you want to take the work further and achieve total freedom around alcohol, let's talk. I help my clients stop reaching for that first glass of wine the moment 6 p.m. rolls around, and they don't miss out on life. And we do it in 90 days. The effect is permanent. Email me for more information on anna@90dayslater.co. And if you did enjoy the show, I'd really appreciate if you'd leave a rating and review to help others find the 90 Days Later podcast.